Listen, Leo was owning this scene with Gwen, and I was here for it. Normally I would tune out a Leo scene, especially when he gets overly indulgent in his gestures and his mannerisms, and that Leo theme music that comes in the back. I can't stand it. But listen, I love this scene for what it is. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an audio episode recap of today's Daysofourlives, March 25th, 2026. So, heading back to Leah and Gwen now. So Leah is there trying to write an article exposing EJ, Vivian, everybody, and trying to maintain Dimitri's innocence in the process. Now, while he was trying to do that, Gwen just surprises him in his room on his bed, and he's like, you're trying to get close to me when I just had a concussion. Are you crazy? So anyway, she said that she was here not really to check on him, but for her own personal selfish reasons. Now, he is out to get her for her role in, Dimitri's demise. And she, is constantly just denying that she had anything to do with it. And Dimitri is really guilty about what he did, helping, Peter with the mayor's disappearances and everything, and she had no parts in it. Now, Leah doesn't believe that, and Leah believes that EJ and Gwen are in the cahoots ever since he saw them at the gala, looking really chummy together. He just knows that she has been up in her knees with this whole thing, and he doesn't think that she has the guts to kill him, but EJ does. EJ has the means and the know-how how to do that. Now, he knows that she knows of the pod, and he's been reading in the newspaper that, the secret pod, it's really crazy that Gwen just acts aloof about the whole thing. Now, he is determined to prove Dimitri's innocence, and she had to just drag the fact that, okay, he's alone twice now. Harvey left him, and now Dimitri is in Alamania. He's not coming back. So Leo had to turn it around on her and said, you're enjoying that, are you? So she said, no, not really. Yes, probably I am. So he said, you have to be one sad, miserable person to really enjoy that. That's why you're going to be sad, alone, and miserable for the rest of your life. So it really struck a nerve on her, because she knows that's true, and she knows she's just doing this because she's a bitter, lonely, miserable woman. And it's true, she has nothing else to really do. She needs to get some help, some therapy, because it's just miserable. But anyways, he said that he's determined to prove that she was a part of it. She was a part of the whole, setting up Dimitri, and there's evidence lined up with it. And she, the fact that somebody tried to take a hit on them and Dimitri had to get in the way and save him, and this caused a concussion, he's gonna prove it all. And Gwen is definitely gonna get knocked off her high horse a little bit, because the way she's looking, she's real guilty. So while that is happening, Brady and Sarah, they're outside in the main air hospital, because remember Holly and Tate told them about these mix-up of the supplements and Rachel's antipsychotic medications. And Brady's just wondering, why would Rachel really want to mess with Holly? Why would Rachel be doing this, especially when the custody hearing is today? Now, Sarah saying, let's not jump to conclusions. Let's really just ask Rachel what's really going on, right? We don't really know for sure if Rachel was the one who caused this whole mix-up. Now, he texted Marlena to meet up, and Marlena came on. He tells her briefly what happened and also shows her the medication, and she said it definitely looks like the type Rachel would take. Now, he's just convinced that Rachel got herself in some trouble, and it's just dangerous now, considering that she has this custody hearing to get to. Again, Sarah's trying to just calm him down with that, and Marlena had to see a patient, but she said that she'd be there to support Rachel at the hearing. Now, he had to go, but he does tell Sarah that she's amazing for just, supporting him through this thing, especially after, Rachel did what she did to her. And Sarah understands, she's a troubled child, and, she just needs encouragement and help that, she will get better. So he tells her that Rachel approves of them getting together romantically, and she's okay with it. She forgives her for whatever past things that she did, kidnapping her and all that. So she's happy to hear that. Now EJ coming in looking like my boss over here with his goon. Comes in, he look like he's been tracking Liam the whole time, because how he ended up at Ari's dorm. Now Ari already left out because I guess she was running some errands or getting some food or bandages, something to help Liam. Because at this point, she is his at-home nurse. Now, Liam is there. He has the tablet because she saw the news headline, but she didn't want to worry him, but she left it with him regardless. He was able to make out or decipher, because he couldn't read clearly, but he was able to decipher that, they're looking for the person that was shot by the henchman or by the claws. So while he's reading that, he gets a knock at the door, or not even a knock at the door, the door opens and EJ and his goon is there. So he is scared, quaking in his boots over there. He's wondering, like, what can he do now? Because he left the voice notes telling EJ that the guy is dead now. So EJ said that he got the voice notes, and he's like, well done, good job. And he said, no, I didn't shoot him, I swear. So he said, yeah, but maybe you convinced the policeman to shoot him. And he said he didn't either or. So either way, EJ's happy that the guy that was responsible for the kidnappings, he's gone, and now Vivian is also gone. Now, he tells Liam that their business is done. However, if he doesn't know how to keep his head down low, he will hear from him again. Because, again, Vivian is dead, and he asks Liam if he wants to know how Vivian is actually deceased. So he's telling him, but telling him indirectly that he has something to do with that. Now, Liam doesn't want no smoke with EJ at all. So he said, everything is all good. So he asks him, does Ariana know what, you're capable of, or what you used to do? And, what are you doing hiding out in a college room like this? I mean, he did taunt him on his illiteracy and talking about, I'm sure you could understand what was that. I forget you can't read. So he said, yes, I can read. So I don't know. I started laughing when he just said, picture books don't count. Because I'm like, why EJ gotta be so smug all the time? So that hit a nerve with Liam. Liam was about to threaten EJ, but he remembered that the goon was in the back. But anyways, they left, and Liam tried to get all his stuff and try to get himself out there, but then Ari decided to come back. So we'll get into that soon. Earlier, Ari ran into her, what would you call this now? Great aunt Belle, and she asked her how is Sean doing. So she said Sean is on the mend, and she was just really worried, but she remembers being married to him, and it comes with the territory, it comes with the job, so she knows he will make a smooth recovery. So Ari asks more about the person that they're looking for. So Belle tells her that, that person has a connection to the claw shooting, and, he just vanished into thin air, and they don't know where he is, and they need him for questioning. So Ari wanted to know more, but Belle said that she couldn't get into all of the sort of details. However, she did ask her, what's the name of the person? Is he? The Belle said he's Liam Saleko. So, of course, now Ari connected the dots and went back to her dorm room. So she went back to the dorm room, and she sees that he's packing up. So she's like, where are you going? So I said, I can't stay out here forever. Got a life to get back to. You got a life to get back to. And she tries to convince him that he always has a place here. He can always come back if he needs a new bandage or just to hang out. So he said, yeah, I appreciate all that you've done for me. Now, before he leaves, she and him share a kiss, and then he, went out of there. But I'm just saying, the bar is set low in hell, honestly. But just finding out that the character, the actor for Ari, Marissa Reyes, she is on days for another day, and then that will be it for her stint as Ari. I mean, there will be a new person coming in as Ari in April, so let's see who that person will be. But she has grown on me. I mean, the first couple of months when she came, she was really bratty and disrespectful towards her mother, but after a while she started to grow on me. She matured a lot, so I'm gonna miss her being on there. I didn't really like her connection with Liam because of Liam's ways, right? So Otherwise, they could have been a cute couple. I mean, attractive wise, they got it. But as far as him and his past and his baggage and everything else haunting him over his head recently, yeah, it's not good for Ari at all. So EJ was on his way to the custody hearing. He, literally runs into Sarah. They both apologize for it. So they talk about the hearing, and he was telling how he was, working on a statement, going to the hearing, and Sarah said that, Brady said he will be testifying. So he said, yeah, he wants to see that Rachel goes free and he doesn't want nothing to happen to her. However, she has to be partly blamed for it. So, of course, Sarah took offense about it. And Sarah is like, she is a child. She did not do that intentionally. So I said, I don't think she really intended to kill me or shoot me in cold blood. But come on, this girl has had, she has had bad tendencies and she's very troubled. And, Sarah saying that she's getting the help right now. She's getting intensive therapy. She's taking her meds. And he said, it's only soon enough she will be just like her mother. She is her mother's daughter. And, you know how she is. So Sarah is saying, you four people should not even talk about anybody else. Like, what's going on with you using my grandfather's name and vilifying it, and also this part, like, what are you really up to? So he said again, you need to come off your high horse. I'm the one like really paying for all you guys' salaries, and this is intensive research. It's not harming nobody. So anyways, she doesn't buy that at all. She's saying you're the one on the questioning and all that. So she said, look, when it comes down to who can reform as a demurrer, my money's on Rachel. So, of course, EJ is struck a nerve and he, looked at her funny, and Marlena's like, what was that about? Now, everybody's preparing for the custody hearing, but earlier, Rachel and Kristen, they were at Brady's place and they were getting ready for the hearing. And of course, Rachel is kind of nervous, but at the same time, she's also ready for it because she's ready to protect her mom by any means. And, hopefully it will all be over. Of course, Kristen is still carrying feelings towards EJ and him, being the reason why Rachel is going through this hearing. And, Rachel's like, are you, do you want to see EJ dead and all that? So she said, no. But she can tell that her mom is still upset at EJ. And she said, look, like, one thing I've taught you is that, the power remains in actually just, staying silent and planning your next move. So she said, I remember that and I will definitely do that. So they go to the hearing room and they see Marlena. Marlena wishes her well. She can't be at the hearing because it is just about parents and the lawyers and the judge present. So she just wishes her best and she will see her afterwards. And she was asking Rachel if she took her meds. Of course, Rachel is there barking at her and Kristen is backing her up on that. I'm saying they didn't have to be so defensive and rude towards Marlena. But anyways, Marlena leaves and Brady comes over and Brady wishes her the best and, tell her that she got this. And he wanted to talk to her after, and Kristen's like, what's really going on? But then Melinda comes in, so couldn't get into that. They said that even Marlene said to just, have that talk after because it wouldn't be best to talk to her about that when she has a hearing to prepare for. Now, Melinda comes in. Melinda and Belle brief Rachel on what's to be expected with the judge and what they want to go through, basically for this case to throw out. And, them to explain why Kristen did what she did for her daughter, and hopefully the judge will be understanding. But this judge was not understanding because she believes that Kristen committed a serious crime, which she did, perjury, and that could, get a sentence of over like 7 years maximum. So Kristen is like, at this point, why it makes sense that we're begging and pleading. Even, Melinda is trying to like defend her client, saying that she did it for her daughter. And, the judge wasn't hearing any of that. She didn't even want to hear them explain anything. She kept cutting them off. And, Belle was saying that there was extenuating circumstances. Judge didn't want to hear that. So Kristen got frustrated and she let her emotions get the best of her. And she comes on and said, you know what, at this point, just throw me back in jail then. Because what's the point of us sitting here and you're not trying to hear us? At this point, just throw me back in jail. So, Rachel is getting upset. And Brady's like, this is really a shit show at this point. So, yeah. I mean, we hear that Stacey Haddock will be off days for a couple of months. I don't know if she's permanently leaving or she's coming back. They like to bring back characters, but hopefully she does, because she is a great addition as Kristen. She will be on Young and the Restless, I believe. So yeah, but we'll see her for how they like to show the characters on, even though they have left already. Even Johnny's character, he'll be on until I guess before the end of the year. So we'll see him continuously, but it's either here or there. I'm not gonna miss Johnny or Tate, Holly. So Holly, yeah, I'm not gonna miss those people. They didn't bring anything. Chanel, they didn't really bring much anymore, and they're not worth watching. They're not engaging, but to each their own. But yeah, comment below your thoughts on this episode, guys. Don't forget to like or subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys tomorrow.